What's up, guys, and welcome to the Season 3 finale of our Realistic Career Mode with Nottingham Forest. Yes, we're rounding off our third campaign in charge of the City ground, and as you can see the table there, we are still in with a hunt of a European spot. 4 games to go, 12 points up for grabs. Technically we can still finish 4th, but realistically 5th is our aim, as we're in a tight-knit group pushing for those Europa League and Europa Conference League spots. A couple messages with players here. Tanguy and Ndombele is fed up. He has actually requested a transfer, so he will be leaving in the summer. It just couldn't give him the game time. I liked Tanguy as a backup midfielder, but he obviously wanted more game time, so we'll listen to offers and let him go in the summer. And then Steph Peters was just saying that he wanted a bit of game time as well. Obviously, he's leaving at the end of this season on a free, so he wants some game time between now and the end of the season. We'll try, but every game is so vital, so we might not be able to grant you your wish, Steph. Anyway, heading into the first of 4 games in today's episode, it is away at St James's Park. It is Newcastle United, a team who are just 2 places and 4 points above us in the league. So it goes without saying, this is a huge one, and it just continues the trend of the last 2 to 3 episodes. The last 2 months in this season. We've mainly faced teams that are around or above us. It has been a proper slog, but we have been on really good form after such a bad first half of the season. We're now coming into it in the back end and pushing for a European spot. Champions League looks unlikely, but Europa League definitely on the cards. Well, going into this one, both keepers will have to make big saves before who else? Taiwo Awoniyi gives us the lead. Great little ball around the corner to Taiwo, and the Nigerian bags his, I think, 31st goal of the season. Absolutely on fire right now. The lead wouldn't last long though. Farias, the Newcastle striker, would level for the hosts just before half-time, 5 minutes before half-time. And then we would have a chance, actually. Taiwo playing it to Brereton Diaz just a couple minutes later, and the Chilean shot crashes off the inside of the post, goes along the goal line, and then he gets the rebound, but it hits the side netting from a tight angle, and we head into the break, drawing 1-1. Going into the second half and straight from kickoff, we love a little kickoff attempt and potentially kickoff goal. Well, it would be a kickoff goal. Renan Lodi, lovely play down the left-hand side. He links up with Sayankov before he finds Awoniyi, who bangs in his and our second of the game in the near post. I've in recent episodes been learning to shoot near post more. When I'm through in those sorts of positions, I always try to finesse it far corner. I've been learning to shoot near post more, and I think Isak bagged his hat trick in the last episode by going near post. So I'm trying to mix it up more and test to keep the keeper on his toes. Well, speaking of hat tricks, Taiwo had a great chance for his here. Sayankov with a cutback, and Awoniyi had an open net, but he drags it wide. He is human after all. Taiwo cannot make the score 3-1, and then Brennan Johnson with a nice pass from Taiwo in behind, but the Newcastle keeper Pope keeps his side in the game, and then Reece Nelson, the former Forest player, would go through 1-1, but Dean Henderson, so quick off his line. How many times we said that this season? He smothers Reece and does not allow the forward to get a chance at goal. And then, well, for 15 minutes to go, Nick Pope is keeping inside in this one. Taiwo Awoniyi, yet again, that man is everywhere. He is through 1-1, but his shot is saved. And then with 10 minutes to go, Newcastle would get the equaliser. The ball being squared to Simon, I think it was, and he equalises for the Magpies. And that is how it would end. 2-2 in Newcastle, and is it 2 points dropped? Is it 1 point gained? Newcastle are 4 points and 2 places above us in the league, but we led the game 2-1. We had plenty of chances, should have seen it out, didn't, and Newcastle punished us. And I'd say 2 points dropped for sure to be in that position. 10 minutes to go, and we've lost the victory there. Nevertheless, you got to look at the positives. It's not a loss, and we do drop down to 10th, though. Spurs and Arsenal both moving above us. Newcastle staying 6th. And that ends our Champions League hopes for this season. We're only 4 points off 5th, though. We're 10th in the league, but we're 4 points off 5th. It is so crazy tight going into the last 3 games as we face Manchester United, who are 3rd. But as you well know, we love playing the Red Devils. 5 games against them in this career mode over 3 years. We have won all 5 games. Yes, won both times here at Old Trafford and then beaten them 3 times at the City ground. Can we make it 6 from 6? United are third in the league. They were pushing for the title. They are third in the league. Can we pull off yet another crazy result against Man U? Well, they would have the first chance of the game 12 minutes in, a header being cleared off the line. I think it was Szoboszlai, who has actually just signed for Liverpool in real life. Bit of a strange signing. What do you think of that signing? Let me know in the comments. Is the Hungarian a good fit for Liverpool? I mean, they kind of need DMs more than attacking players, but he's a good player nonetheless, one that Newcastle were linked to, and he is now a red. Well, a one you would hit just the base of the outside of the post. I'll be honest, this game was very quiet indeed. In the 80th minute, Brennan Johnson found 1-on-1. Oh, is it happening again? Is it going to be 6 wins from 6 against Man United? I was thinking, okay, if we can draw here, we will lose the 100% streak against Man United, but we'll still be undefeated against them, and a draw at Old Trafford might not be the worst result. We've just gone 1-0 up. Brennan Johnson brought into the side today ahead of Brereton Diaz. Obviously, those two sort of fighting for the place whilst Alexander Isak is out injured. And Brennan gets the goal. 4th goal of the season, only his 4th, but what a huge goal that could be. Could we see this game out for a massive 3 points? Well, yes, we would. Yep, there was a bit of gamesmanship at the end. I'm not afraid to admit that. Every point counts here. And it is a massive, massive win for us. 3 points at Old Trafford. 2 former United players playing a massive part. Maguire was the player who cleared the ball in the first half when we had it off the line. Then he took it off the toes of the United striker. And then Dean Henderson making a couple of big saves to give us 3 points at Old Trafford. 3rd season in a row we've won there. 3rd season in a row we've done the double over Man United. 6 wins from 6. Can we play you every week? The fans were singing. And we're up to 7th. 55 points. 2 games to go. We are level with Spurs in 8th, but 2 points behind Newcastle and Leicester in 6th and 5th respectively. This European battle is so tight. I cannot believe how close to the wire this is going. As we see, we have an offer for Tanguy Ndombele. Carlo Ancelotti at Real Madrid wanted the French midfielder, and he would not budge. I was trying to get the price up. He was just like, right, 22 million, that is it. Take it or leave it. So that was the player's valuation. We accepted it. 22 million. Tanguy is off to join Alexis Vega, another former Forest player. They will both be wearing Los Blancos colours come next season. Well, obviously Vega already is. Tanguy will be joining him. And then we had messages saying that our youth academy players were unsettled. And usually when that happens, you either have to give them a contract or let them go. I looked at them, and all 4 of them I just don't think are good enough to get into the side. So I actually released all 4. We obviously didn't send out any youth scouts this season. We probably will again, maybe next year. I just feel like now it's rare that they'll get into the side. So I didn't do a youth scout this year. Maybe I won't next year. Going into the third game of the episode, though, 3rd or 4th, and our penultimate game of the season, our last game at home, and it's against Manchester City. Title chasing Manchester City. We have had some big games against Pep Guardiola's side over the years. City have to win to take the title to the final day. A draw leaves them 3 points behind, but 10 goals off, worse off than Liverpool. So they have to win this game if they want a chance at the title. We obviously did play them in our final home game of last season, which was the final game of last season. We beat Man City 4-2, ending their title hopes after they had beaten us in the FA Cup final. So we've got a history of Man City. And speaking of that FA Cup final, City had just won the FA Cup for the 2nd season in a row, beating Tottenham just a few days prior. So could we capitalise on perhaps a little bit of fatigue with Pep's side? Well, we did go 1-0 up. Brennan Johnson, what a time to pick! What a time to be a clutch player. 2 starts against 2 Manchester sides, and he scored the opening goal in both. Erling Haaland would equalise. The Norwegian machine didn't take long to level for City. But then 9 minutes before the break, Nico Williams, another player who's just been huge for us since coming in the January transfer window, he bags from a Johnson assist, and we lead 2-1. A couple minutes before half-time, Harry Maguire would have a header cleared off the line, and then Syankov would try and recycle the ball, plays it to Brennan Johnson. He drives to the byline, tries to swing a ball in. It's out for another corner as we enter injury time in the first half. Maguire's header cleared off the line. Could the captain get to a header here or get anything before half-time? It is Maguire, And it is 3-1. Yes, H. What a time to pop up with just his second goal of the season. The captain, the former Man United player, gives us a 3-1 lead against Man City. Remember, Man City have to win this game if they want a chance at the title going into the final day of the season. So they are going to have to score 3 in the second half. Well, going into the second half, a former Real Madrid player, Asensio, would rob Niakate before Haaland would force Dean Henderson into another big save. And then 25 minutes to go, Taiwo Awoniyi finds a bit of space, plays it behind into Maxime Lopez. Oh, his dinked effort is too high, and despite being taken out by Edison, it goes over the bar for a goal kick. Just a few minutes later, though, Nico Williams is found, and the Spaniard gets the byline, lofts the ball to the back stick, and there's Taiwo Awoniyi. But again, Edison is there, and he actually gets a save this time. Really good save. From the resulting corner, cross comes in, back out to Sayankov. Maguire gets his head to the ball, and it's another save by Edison. And we are peppering City in this game. We make a couple of subs. Calvin Phillips, the former Man City player, comes on along with Benjamin Farmer. Honestly, with Man City, they're just one of those teams that I think usually batter teams, but we just always seem to be able to give them a good game and score against them. It's not just as one-sided as you see in real life or as it is against some teams. I mean, that side for us is Liverpool. I think we've lost every encounter bar one against the Reds, and they always score plenty of goals against us. Haaland, we get his and City's second goal of the game. A corner comes in, and Dean Henderson is in no man's land. Haaland gets his head to it before we have a nail-biting finish. Omar Richards with a foul in injury time gives away a free kick. Man City cross it in. Dean Henderson saves, but the ref blows for full time, even though they should have had a corner. I would have been fuming if I was Pep there. I had flashes of Arsenal then a few weeks ago when we were 2-1 up. We had the ball in injury time, gave it away. Then our fullback gave away a free kick, and Arsenal scored in a similar position as well. I was worried that was going to happen again, but we do see the game out, and we beat both Manchester sides within a week. We end Man City's title hopes for the second time in 2 seasons. Liverpool win the title, but more importantly for us, we are up to 5th with 1 game to go. 58 points. We move above Leicester and Newcastle, and it is now in our hands. This is the highest point we've been in the whole season, and we have 1 game to go. It is in our hands. If we win, we will finish 5th and in the Europa League positions. And looking down the bottom of the table, West Brom, they have their first win of the season. 37 games it took, but the Baggies have their first point, and they will not finish with the lowest points total in the history of the Premier League. And more importantly, they actually have a win on the board, which is crazy. It took 37 weeks, but the Baggies will be going down along with Brighton and Burnley. So the 3 relegated sides already decided going into the final day. The title's already decided. That's in Liverpool's hands. The top 4 is decided. The only battle now is for the Europa League and the Europa Conference League. And it is so close. We are 5th, but we could end the day in 9th, I think. That is how tight it is going into this final game. And we face West Ham, who, let's not put anything past them. They may be sat in 10th, but West Ham are a strong side, and we have lost in this ground before. So we cannot take anything for granted. Taiwo Awoniyi, 32 goals for the campaign. He will win the Golden Boot because Mo Salah is only on 23, I believe. But more importantly, can we win this game? It's in our hands. We win this game. We have finished in 5th, which would be an incredible turnaround considering how poor the first half of our season was. Let's try and get the job done. Jesse Lingard, the former Nottingham Forest player, starts for West Ham as we see the Forest side here. Very strong side indeed. It is one that has played pretty much throughout the season. Obviously, the injured Isak is out of the squad. Yates in for ahead of Phillips, who he's made that position his own, and Brennan Johnson, who has started the last 2 games and scored in both of the last 2 games. He starts once again ahead of Brereton Diaz. Well, 6 minutes in, and the Hammers would have a great chance, but Dean Henderson with a fantastic save at his near post. How big could that be? And then 16 minutes in, Sergio Rico, the Spanish goalkeeper, clears out by Ryan Yates. Who else? He collects the ball. Brennan Johnson finds Taiwo Awoniyi, who chests and volleys home. This guy is ridiculous. Oh my God, Taiwo. I am going to struggle to hold on to this guy in the summer. We said if we can't reach Champions League, we are going to have to listen to the offers from the bigger teams, the teams that are in Europe's elite competition, because he deserves to be there. That is his 94th goal in 3 league campaigns. mental stuff. He gives us a crucial 1-0 lead. As we know, this game is in our hands. Well, the roles would be reversed as Taiwo would try to find Brennan over the top, but the Welshman's volley is well saved by Rico. You can see in the top corner there, Tottenham are 1-0 down at home to Leeds, whilst Taiwo has a shot blocked by Rico, and then Brennan Johnson gets his third goal in 3 games. What? I mean, look, I don't want to blow my own horn or anything, but I brought Brennan Johnson in. He started the last 3 games. He scored in all 3 games. And look, he's been clutch, all right? And that's all I'm going to say. Brennan Johnson gives us a 2-0 lead. He adds a goal to his assist today. And we lead 2-0. As Nico Williams actually has a really, really good chance on the stroke of half-time. Great crossing from Lodi, but is saved by Rico. And West Ham just have a glimmer of hope as we head into the break. And you can see the halftime scores there. Spurs 1-0 down, Arsenal 1-0 down, both at home. Newcastle winning and Leicester winning. Those are the teams we are focusing on. Well, the second half would be relatively quiet. 20 minutes to go. We make a couple of subs. Calvin Phillips and Benjamin Farmer coming on. Those are the regular subs we make. And then also Brennan Johnson and Maxime Lopez coming off for Brereton Diaz, and Tanguy Ndombele making his final appearance in a Forest shirt before he heads to the Bernabeu in the summer. I know we ended. I know he wasn't too happy, but I still wanted to give him his final game. You know, he's had some big performances from us. As Burnley equalise at Newcastle late on, that could be a huge goal for us. West Ham looking to get back into this one with a free kick. It is recycled and we counter-attack. Brereton Diaz found through on goal, and that should be that, ladies and gentlemen. Brereton Diaz makes it West Ham 0, Nottingham Forest 3, and that should be the Europa League confirmed coming to the City ground. Yes, it's a step down, I guess, from the Champions League of last season, but I think we overachieved last year. And considering how our first half of the campaign went, to finish 5th in the league, I am very, very happy with that. And considering, you know, we won the Carabao Cup, we brought a first piece of silverware to the City ground, we reached the FA Cup semi-finals, and in our inaugural season in the Champions League, you know, our first time returning to that competition in 50 years, we reached the quarter-finals. We went undefeated in our group, we topped Group A, and we reached the quarterfinals. I think it's a very respectable season. As we look at the table there, it is confirmed 5th for Nottingham Forest, 61 points. We had to win that last game because Leicester won as well. We finish a point ahead of them, 2 ahead of Tottenham. Liverpool win the title, Man City 2nd, Man United 3rd, Chelsea 4th. We finish 5th. 17 wins, honestly, and 6 of those came in our last 8 games, and also 4 of those 6 wins were against the top. They were out of the top 7, so really tough run-in for us. I remember looking at it at the start of the season thinking that run-in is going to be awful, but we finish very strongly indeed. Second most goals scored behind Liverpool, so that's actually that's gone down because we had the most goals last season. 6th worst defence though, that's an improvement as we look through the cup competitions here. As we mentioned before, Man City beat Tottenham in the FA Cup final to win 2-0 to secure their 2nd FA Cup title in a row, and then we won our first piece of silverware beating Arsenal at Wembley in the Carabao Cup final, winning 2-1. What a day that was. City did win the Champions League though, so FA Cup and Champions League winners, Pep Guardiola's side, they beat Bayern Munich 1-0, whilst in the Europa League, Liverpool and Chelsea played out an all-English final and Liverpool came out on top 1-0. In the Europa Conference League, Sassuolo beat PSV 2-0 to take that specific trophy to Italy. And then we look at the stats for the season. For the league, Taiwo Awoniyi wins the Golden Boot, his 2nd in 3 seasons and 2nd in a row. 33 goals in 38 games for the Nigerian. As mentioned before, 94 goals in 114 Premier League games, just crazy. He also wins the most assists. He finished 1 ahead of Sayankov. Again, that's the 2nd time he's won that in a row. What a player he is, basically. It's going to be so hard to keep hold of him in this coming summer. Looking at the clean sheets, De Gea wins the Golden Glove, 13 clean sheets in 38. Henderson kept 7 clean sheets, so that's definitely an improvement on last season. 3 of those clean sheets came in the last 4 games as well, so really, really clutch performances towards the back end of the season. Nico Williams, the fullback, had the joint most yellow cards in the league. He finished with 7, and he also received our only red card of the competition that came against his former side, Liverpool. And then looking at the stats for the squad, Dean Henderson, 11 clean sheets in all competitions, 3 in the Champions League. Very impressive. Butland impressed me as well. He earned a year extension on his contract. Renan Lodi on his return had a great season, 9 goal contributions, and he's up to 88 rated, which is the highest in the squad. Omar Richards earned the backup role at left back and forced Roman Perot out the club. Maguire, despite all of his critics, led us to our first trophy, and he also scored twice, the captain. Yates was absolutely fantastic. 43 appearances in all competitions. He took over that DM role from Phillips when he was injured, and he never looked back. Phillips himself, 38 appearances in all comps, was decent, but I want to see more for sure. Viktor Zyankov, what a brilliant year for the Ukrainians. 6 goals, 18 assists, and he's up to 84 rated. What a free signing he was. Ezra George, the Youth Academy graduate, made his senior debut and got an assist in the FA Cup. That was special. Steph Peters leaves for free, having scored 3 times in 4 FA Cup games. He was great actually in the FA Cup, the Belgian. Benjamin Farmer, the enigma that is Benjamin Farmer, 84 rated now, up 5 ratings this season, but only 4 goals and 4 assists. I'm still yet to find that consistent role for the star of this. Well, he looks like he's going to be the star of this team, but I just don't know where to play him. Obviously, one of those 4 goals was that injury time winner in Turin on matchday 1 in the Champions League. What a moment that was. Probably the highlight of this save, actually. Nico Williams, what a signing he was. Brought in from Villa on the cheap. 8 goals, 11 assists in 40 games and up 3 ratings to 85. And he's only 22. Absolutely love that guy. Brennan Johnson, 12 goals and 16 assists this season, but he started the last 3 games of the campaign and scored in all 3. He is loved here at Forest. Isak, an injury hit season. He had a 3-month injury earlier in the season. Then he did his ACL, which will keep him out till November of next season. But 19 goals and 5 assists. He will be huge for us next season. He scored 2 hat-tricks. And if we can't keep hold of Taiwo, Isak is going to be the main man. And speaking of Taiwo, another season to remember for the Nigerian, who is now 86 rated. Unbelievable. 42 goals and 21 assists across 4 competitions and another golden boot. The bids will no doubt come in rolling in for him this summer. And Brereton Diaz, what a brilliant backup striker he is, always finding the back of the net. We looked at the board's objectives quickly, and 79 overall is obviously not great. We didn't finish in a Champions League place, but we did finish the season with a £150 million profit margin, which is what they wanted. And we've apparently got to be playing some Youth Academy players next season. Overall, the board are happy with me and want me to carry on next year, which I think is fair enough. If you look at the screen there, 5th in the Premier League, FA Cup semi-finalists, Carabao Cup winners, Champions League quarter-finalists. I think that's a good season. Let me know in the comments, do you think we've had a successful 3rd year in charge? I cannot wait to get season 4 underway. It will be coming very soon. But if you enjoyed the season, drop it a like as always. We're on our way to 250 subs. Have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all very soon.